All right, hey everybody, Mr. Withers here. We are talking today about the distributive property. So this property is really helpful when we are simplifying expressions. And what we've done for the last week or so is very basic simplifying expressions where everything is just kind of plus or minus. We don't have a lot of things that include multiplication or division when we simplify. Well, now we're going to add that so we have a little bit more complicated expressions to simplify. And the most common thing that you'll see is this situation where you need a property called the distributive property. And really all that we're doing when we distribute is we are multiplying everything on the inside, multiply everything on the inside of the parentheses by the term on the outside. So this would come in handy in a situation like this. So when we see this, we know that if a number is touching and there's no symbol there, that means multiplication, right? We've talked about that before. But this is right up against parentheses that has multiple things inside. So what we do with this 4 is distribute or share it. So whoop, whoop, it goes times both things on the inside. So this simplifies to be 4x plus 4. Because that 4 is taken times the x, which is 4x, and 4 times the 1, which is 1. Let's try another example. Let's say that we had something like 3y plus 2. We would distribute. Whoop, whoop. The 3 goes times the y, which is 3y, times the 2, which is 6, and that is simplified. If we think about kind of breaking this down, what's actually happening here in an example like this is we have 3 y plus 2's, right? We have y plus 2, we have y plus 2, and we have y plus 2. We have 3 of them. If you add this up, we have 3 y's plus 6 more. So that's where this answer comes from. We just simplify this to be the distributive property where we multiply. Makes life a ton easier. All right, I'm going to give you a couple to try on your own. So try these 3 for me. 5 times x plus 2. 10 times 4 plus z. And 3 times 2x plus 9. So I'm going to have you go ahead and just pause the video, try these in your notebook, and then when you're ready to check your answers, you can press play again. All right, so let's take a look. With this first one, we would take the 5 and distribute. Whoop, whoop. So we have 5x plus 10. With our second one, we would distribute the 10. Whoop, whoop. So 10 times 4 is 40, plus 10 times z, which is 10z. Last example, distribute the 3. Whoop, whoop. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 9 is 27. So all we're doing is distributing that term on the outside, multiplying it times everything on the inside. Let's try a couple tricky examples. So here's one where we actually have 2 different terms inside. So in an example like this, nothing changes. We still distribute. Whoop, whoop. 3 times 4x is 12x. 3 times 2y is 6y. So nothing changes in this. We just have 2 variables. We have an x and a y, and that's totally fine. Just like when we simplify expressions. We can't put them together. They stay separate. And we multiply, and we're good. One more. Sometimes you'll see this. In a situation like this, our term is on the back side of the parentheses. You won't see this very often, but every once in a while it shows up. We can distribute backwards just the same as we distribute forwards. So whoop, whoop, does not change anything. So 6 times 2x is 12x. 6 times 7 is 42, and we're done. So if that term ever shows up on the end, don't freak out. It's the same thing. Nothing to worry about. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. This is just a very basic introduction to distributive property. Where this will go from here, we'll start to add some minus signs and negatives in tomorrow, and then eventually we'll be looking at problems like this, where this is part of a bigger expression. So we simplify, we distribute, so we have 2x plus 2 plus 3x plus 4, and now we're in a situation that's going to connect what we did last week, where we combine our x's and we combine our constants to get 5x plus 6. This is kind of where we're headed with this skill. You don't need to worry about this stuff today, but just to kind of give you a preview, we will eventually be working into a point where the distributive property is part of the expressions that we simplify. All right. Today, you have 2 tasks to complete. Task number 1, there is a booklet assigned as it's given as a solo assignment on Canvas that is linked there, so you can do that on your own. This will not be like a class one on the board. This is just linked as an assignment. So you'll do that in Canvas. This is in the week at a glance for today. And when you finish that, you've got a worksheet that is up at the front of the room with the sub. That worksheet is homework that is due tomorrow. And those are your 2 tasks here for the rest of class. If you finish both of these and you have missing work, now would be a great time to work on that. If you don't have any missing work, you can have a little bit of free time if you finish both the booklet and that worksheet. All right. If you have any questions, you can ask the sub. Otherwise, I will plan on seeing you tomorrow. Have a great day.